in 2005 and holds the freedom of the Borough of Wirral. Lord Urquhart was introduced as a Lord Spiritual to the House of Lords on the 26th of October in 2010, and representing one of our most culturally and religiously diverse cities, Lord Urquhart has the authority to talk on interfaith matters. So I invite Lord Urquhart to speak.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Thanks to the President and Secretary of the Board of Trustees of Mankind Welfare Trust for their invitation and for arranging this wonderful consultation, and particularly delighted to be able to represent Archbishop Rowan, who enjoyed his meeting with His Holiness Birzai this morning very much, and regrets very much that he can't be here this evening. He's actually in church in St. Paul's Cathedral, preaching at a service that was arranged a long time before Your Holiness's visit was arranged to the UK. Of course, Archbishop Rowan, as we've heard already, has visited Pakistan and has since then paid a very close interest in continuing a close relationship with people of Pakistan, both those who live in the country and also who live in the dispersion around the world. In doing that, he has arranged visits to and from Pakistan, where it's become quite clear that the issues that face society there and society here in the UK have many common concerns. And it's wonderful that we're hearing tonight of those common concerns from the speakers we've already been listening to. Of course, in our own area of Birmingham, and with your permission, Mr. President, I almost want to ask whether anyone has visited Birmingham that is sitting in the room, looking round. Thank you very much. Very good. Welcome to come again. The city of Birmingham has a significant, of course, Pakistani community, and also a very strong commitment to interfaith relations. 10 years ago, the events that happened in America, which could have caused terrible trouble in Birmingham, were the subject of every major faith coming together in a new faith leaders group. And that group continues vigorously to this day. And they would want me to bring you greetings today from that group. Indeed, I have a little gift that I would like to give to His Holiness. I'm not sure if I should give it to the President of the Trust, but I want to give it to His Holiness, which is the account of the writings, just in 1 year, of the Faith Leaders Group of Birmingham, to illustrate the commitment we have not just to dialogue, but to practical action in order to fulfill some of the aspirations that our President has challenged us to think about tonight. In a moment I'd like to respond, but first perhaps may I give to His Holiness this illustration of our friendship. And when you come to Birmingham, I hope you will meet some of the people that are illustrated. The paparazzi. This way. Come back. Mr. President, that has taken up 2 more minutes of my speaking time, so I'll be quick. We have some very practical programs in Birmingham to illustrate your challenge to us of developing friendship and also taking action to build a world that is peaceful and harmonious, at the same time as honouring our distinctive traditions in our understanding of God and how we actually express our love for God, our love for the creation in which we are, and our love for our fellow human beings. The phrase we use in the Church of England is presence, being present to one another and yet engaging with one another. So we want to be present because we've heard today that there is this wonderful vision of a world that lives at peace with one another, and yet at the same time, with our differences, we're prepared to learn from one another and to engage with one another, so that we don't just simply become something dull in the middle, but we actually bring our insights and our passions, and perhaps the things that God has revealed to us, into the discussion. But that's not enough, is it? Because we need to put that engagement into action. And, for example, some of you may have heard of the program called The Feast. And in fact, my colleague, Dr. Andrew Smith, who is my interfaith director in Birmingham, has pioneered a movement of Christian and Muslim youth relating to each other, people of faith, living their faith properly, but wanting to get to know each other and to get involved in practical action. Such an extent that they're now asked by communities internationally to demonstrate and to model how this might work. Also, we have been responding to, with some caution, but with willingness, to this UK government's desire to see more harmonious relationships. And in a programme called Near Neighbours, the Church of England has been asked on behalf of the faith communities to inspire in the 4 main areas of the country which have a great deal of interfaith, London, Bradford, which has already been mentioned, which you visited, Your Holiness, and also Birmingham and Leicester, to enable communities from different faiths to make friends with one another, but not just to make friends, to stay friends, and then as friends, to make a difference in their community. It's a very ambitious idea, but it's an idea that even the government, which has perhaps sometimes run out of ideas, has asked faith communities to be courageous and be ambitious for change in society. Of course, we know that across the world, minorities are often treated badly. And sometimes Christians in Pakistan feel that they're treated badly. And I just want to say, and the Archbishop will want to echo this, that we are most grateful when Muslim brothers and sisters stand up for those who are in a minority and are perhaps finding life difficult. So, His Holiness comes from a Sufi background, I know, and the values that I expect we'll hear a little bit more about this evening, the values of love and tolerance, higher moral values than just human selfishness, a dislike of conflict which brings destruction, and the idea that relationships across difference can in fact be kind and generous and be ones that will help the poor. I like the fact that we've already heard tonight, Mr. President, the word responsibility. We've also heard the word, it's a privilege to serve God, the God of creation. And so I'd like to wish His Holiness Mir Sahib every success in his exhausting tour of the UK, and that it will bring many blessings to our communities. But I'd also like, if it's possible, for you to take greetings to the Holy Shrine of Idgah Sharif, as we've heard so much about that tonight, and that you and your family will continue to serve the world community in this way. In the scriptures, which have already been referred to, of the Judeo-Christian tradition, we heard about the prophet Isaiah. The prophet Jeremiah said this: "Seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you, and pray to the Lord on its behalf for its welfare, and in its welfare you will find your welfare." Thank you for this opportunity to speak. And